Massive parameter lists are a huge problem. Now, we always hear about massive view controller, and that depends on the architecture you've chosen, the actual app. There's loads of ways of solving that and loads of videos about it. But parameter lists matter whichever architecture you're using, whatever app you're creating. Here's the problem. Let's solve it. As you're coding, you might experience a longer and longer parameter list as you develop a class. It's all fine until you realize it's very hard to understand and some of those arguments may contradict each other. We need a solution for this, so as your application scales, as more developers come onto a project, that the API is easy to use and easily understandable. So checking out the rules for SonarQube, which if it's used at your workplace would stop you pushing your changes until you're compliant with the rule, says you have 5 string parameters, that's not allowed, the maximum's 4, get rid of 1. But it looks like the solution is just delete one of the parameters. It doesn't make any sense. You need a strategy to do that. Just having the limit of 4 tells us nothing. What are we to do? Just delete one of the parameters? So here's a rather artificial example of a function with too many parameters. Now we can argue that you shouldn't represent a computer with strings for the CPU, GPU and so on, but that's not the issue at play here. Here I've got many parameters and also they don't combine together in certain ways properly. You can have a CPU, a GPU, but a system on a chip is the combination of CPU and GPU. So you shouldn't allow a case where you have CPU, GPU, and system on a chip. So what I'm going to do is create kind of data transfer objects for these cases. Now I've done that here. For the chipset, I'm going to use an enum. So either you have that system or you have a series of chips, which is defined by this struct, and you have the input-output devices. So the result is a function with 4 parameters. And this should make it easier to read, and also I've set up those dependencies in a much better way. Any problem in programming has several solutions. Take a look at the accompanying article and it goes through other solutions that can help you with long parameter lists. Hope this video has helped you. Thanks for staying to the end, if indeed you did.